Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney. On this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. I have a question here from YouTube user Daniel, who may have used his last name, so I'm not going to read it. Daniel says, I live in California, and I have a discrimination case, and recently I hired a lawyer. Just prior to getting a lawyer, the other side's attorney engaged in settlement talks with me, offering very ridiculous numbers. She started at $1,500 in exchange for a release and an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. Shortly after making her second insultingly low offer, she called me names and offered her legal opinion on the merits of my case. Is that kind of bullying just unfair or illegal? Well, Daniel, welcome to employment law. I know, it's very unpleasant, right? So there's nothing wrong with defense counsel. There's nothing either unfair or illegal about defense counsel telling you that they don't think you have a case. That would be what I would describe as the norm. That's their job to some extent. Now, I'm not saying I agree with them. They say a lot of things. Like I think I've talked on the channel. There was this guy, we'll call him Webster, who used to always just misquote the law to me and say, like, that's not retaliation. This is retaliation. He would just give a fake version of that law. And we just sit there staring at him being like, we know you can read. Like, you're a big law attorney making like $800K a year. We know you can read the law. That wasn't it. He'd be like, no, it is. Like, he would just be like a lunatic, right? So, no, that's kind of their gig. Now, in terms of calling you names, that could be legal or it could not. Depends what the names were. Like, if this attorney, if she was like, oh, you're being ridiculous. Legal. Rude, but legal. If she was like, you're being stupid. Legal. If she hit you with a racial slur, probably illegal. Probably an ethical breach at the very least, right? So it's always going to depend on context. Like, I don't know everything that this person said to you. Also, the laws of California are going to differ from the laws of New York. Like, I don't know what the ethical guidelines are in California. Most of my practice has been in federal court and in, the state courts of New York. So I don't pretend to know what is and is not allowed for an attorney to say in California. But I can tell you, if you're in New York, like, I've been punched in the face by an attorney in the middle of federal court. Like, a very old attorney just punched me in the face, and the bailiff came over and was like, seriously, guys? Do I... That 80-year-old man just punched you in the face, counselor? I'm like, let it go. It's fine. But it's, not unheard of. It's going to depend on what they say, generally speaking. If it's really horrific, if it's something that would... Like, if they're claiming that they got the judge on their side, that could be legal. The judge likes our case. Legal, potentially. If they say, we're bribing the judge, or we got the judge in our pocket, probably illegal in most jurisdictions in the U.S., right? So that it's a fine line in terms of what they're saying as to whether or not it's going to be legal, Daniel. But if you want to provide specifics, we can certainly do that. In terms of those low offers, that's what they try to do to unrepresented claimants, right? They want to give you chump change to get you to settle. That's the game. That's what they do for a living when they have unrepresented people. So when you're unrepresented, the attorneys can speak to you directly, right? If you have representation in most jurisdictions, the attorneys can't talk to you. They have to go through your attorneys. It's a little bit different. But when you're not represented in most jurisdictions, they can just call you up and be like, take $1,500. Take it, stupid. Take it, right? And some people do. So listen, I have seen cases that were probably worth $500,000 settled for like $500. I've seen it. Like, I've seen the settlement agreement, and the person's like, can I get out of this? Probably not. Probably not. I can't tell you no, because it's possible, but probably not is the answer. And that's really sad. That's super sad, right? And there's definitely defense attorneys who, like, make that a big part of their practice. Like, there's people they bring in sometimes, some firms, to finesse the unrepresented people and bully them into a settlement that doesn't make sense. It's a reality. It is. Daniel, I'm glad you hired counsel. I'm glad you didn't take that deal. I'm rooting for you. Like, subscribe, comment down below. It helps me to help more people just like you. Take care out there.